Good morning and welcome to This Week in Phenomenal-ness. So, first, let's just welcome in the energy of this new week, really just centering ourselves into the whole idea that we are enough and we're filling our cups up so that we can walk forth into this weekend of rest and exploration into this new week feeling rejuvenated. So, if you want to just think of something that you truly love and open your heart center, your chakra, and place your eye when you close your eyes on your tissertil or your third eye, and really just allow yourself to sit in that feeling for a moment of love and explore what kind of comes up for you right there. And take a deep breath in now. And just let it out. So, great. So, as we kind of just moved through this whole past 8 weeks, because I really feel like I'm going to work on this week in phenomenalness in 8 week chunks, just so that we can really, I feel like 8 is a number of prosperity, it's a number of, growth, and I really just want to look at life in weeks of 8. I love the number 8. So, I'm going to do a lot of things in the number 8, especially in my life. So, if we just kind of look back over the last 8 weeks, week 1 was really more so, first, it was my birthday. And my gift to myself was to video journal my experience in life and to be able to share it, because I really feel like we lead by example, and in life we are vehicles for change, and we're vehicles to experience, life and share it with the world. So the first week was really just about like a getting to know and an experience, and the stream was kind of weird, and it all worked out for the good, because I've learned so much over the last like 8 weeks. And so that was really just an exploration of self and of getting this myself ready for this whole idea of video journaling. And then week number 2 was about the two activities, or the not the activities, sorry, the two tools that came up that week was, let's look at removing the should factor and the shoulda. So basically, like the whole idea of shoulda, woulda, coulda. And I found a lot of great success with that, because I found that I've carried that forward over the last like 8 weeks. And instead of saying I should do something, I just go and do it. My partner kind of calls me reactive sometimes in that way, but I feel like in life you just got to get it done. And the second thing was redefining success. And I mean, how apropos, because we are on the road to success. And how do we measure success? And the whole idea of redefining the success of life was to look at the fact that the goals, or the things that we defined ourselves as successful, may have been old beliefs compared to where we are at this very point in life. So the whole idea of looking at that and being able to really take that in and work with that was really important for redefining our success. And the activity that week was to find the gifts of our shadow. And it was a pretty challenging week for me, finding the gifts of my shadow that week. And I know that speaking with a couple other people, they kind of had, similar experiences. And it's that whole thing that be careful what you set forth in the universe, because the universe is going to shine back on you like a mirror, because that's what it's there to do. And I definitely found some gifts in my shadow, some insecurities, some self-worthiness. Those were some of the things that shone back on me as my gifts of shadow. And then we moved into week 3. And week 3 was really just one specific thing. The tool was to set a goal that matters, nothing less, nothing more. And really just work with that goal that you set that matters. Whether it's, I'm going to love myself more, or I'm going to get a contract for work, or I'm going to run 10 miles, like whatever it was set a really strong, clear goal. Just one thing as a tool, and just to see how that manifested for you in your life. And the activity that week was to have some fun while you're doing it. And that was really great for me, because I laughed through everything. And I set a really powerful goal for myself, and it was gratifying to be able to like see myself accomplish that one structured goal for myself. And then we moved into week 4, and week 4 was all about the idea of carrying your or carrying something that you could record your thoughts and your schedule with. And that actually ended up being quite interesting. And I'm just moving a little bit here. But yeah, that actually ended up being quite interesting because I was watching The Housewives that week, and yes, okay, I watch The Housewives every once in a while. It's, you know, guilty pleasure. And there's a character who's somewhat crazy, but I love her because of her craziness. She is a successful businesswoman. She carries a notebook with her everywhere. And what she does with that notebook is that she is able to record everything, and it really keeps her on track with her success in her business and in her family life, because she's, you know, really laying things out, and in the margin she's laying out the dates, she's laying out what the action was that happened against those things that she set out for herself. And so it was really cool to be able to start implementing that, and I've been using it moving forward, and it's actually worked quite well. The other thing was time assignments, giving yourself set times. And like, I actually have done it to the point that like I've scheduled out all my bills, and I get reminders and notices. It's due on this day, pay it before this time, reminder, you know, you have a meeting at this time, you should call this person at this time, follow up with this person on this day, and it, you know, take this amount of time to do it in, and really like hold yourself to that. And it's been pretty freaking awesome, because I've used that from week 4 to week 8. I've moved leaps and bounds with it. And the activity that week was intercepting the self-sabotage. Let's say that again, intercepting the self-sabotage. Super, super cool. I was sabotaging myself all over the place, and I didn't even realize it. And so the whole idea of being able to really, really work with that was really cool. I saw, I didn't only see for myself, but I was able to now, as a result of looking within, I was able to see what was going on around the world around me. And it was pretty interesting to see how we all self-sabotage ourselves, and we're not even conscious of it. And if we are, it's so at like the little voice in the back of the head that we're just not willing to listen. And then we moved into week 5, and that was all about perfectionism, and really like looking at what we perceived as perfect. And my idea of perfect was kind of skewed, and it was like set in the future, and it wasn't set in the now. And that for me was like so limiting, that when I really like looked at the whole idea of perfectionism, and I'm perfect the way I am, whatever I'm doing, how much ever of it I accomplish, and just run with that and accepted that. It took a lot of pressure, and I feel like I've gotten lighter and lighter and lighter as the weeks have gone by. And then, you know, this week was kind of a jam-packed week with tools. It was also looking at fear, and looking at the limiting beliefs that fear presents, and the way that it stagnates us and holds us back. And so, you know, looking at perfectionism and fear, and then the other one was setbacks, and looking at how those setbacks affect our life, and are they for the good, or are they so basically, are they for the betterment, or are they for the worst? And you know, setbacks aren't bad. You know, it's about really being able to kind of take the ebb and flow of life, and okay, I'm having a setback, let me just take the ebb and flow of that, and aikido that into something else, or aikido that to a place where I feel comfortable. So there were some interesting things that came up that week with perfectionism, fear, and setbacks. And in that week, it was like kind of like a complete opposite activity of like singing your praises. And I have to say, when I walked out into the world that week, singing my praises and looking at perfectionism and fear and setbacks, the world around me looked completely different, and the people that I I interacted with throughout that week, I really felt like I was no longer, it was no longer about me. Even though I was singing my praises, it wasn't about me anymore. It was about, the focus was put where it needed to be put, because we're a vehicle. And so as a vehicle, you're just open to the universe, sharing with other people. And if that means sharing through you and about you, then that's what you have to do. And it's not about editing that out of our whole way of thinking. So that was pretty cool. And as we moved along into week 6 was all about assessing our values and asking the age-old question of why. And assessing my values, I really got to see that the values that I placed on myself were old. They weren't current with where I am in my current situation. And you know, the 360 of that actually came to pass yesterday. One of our teammates who has been working on this project with us and that we employ had a baby yesterday, and I get choked up when I think about it, because in assessing my values, I really got to realize that by virtue of following my dream and building a company, I'm getting to employ people who are making a livelihood out of this, and now a child has been born out of it, and they're able to provide for that child because I followed my dreams. And so the value for me of what I'm doing is just so much greater, and I just feel like I'm vibrating at like such a much bigger level as a result of it. And I'm not going to cry, but I did feel like I was going to cry, and they were definitely tears of joy. And when I asked myself the question why, you know, as a child we ask why, and you know, it's accepted. But as adults, we really don't ask why anymore. We just do. We just, you know, and I think that in asking why, I really got to see, like, even in the things that I may have perceived as negative whys, I got to see why it was important for me to ask the question why in those areas. And the activity that week was to take risks. And I had so much fun with that, because as an entrepreneur, uh, I am the risk taker in our business, and I have 3 other partners who all come from different walks of life and different experiences, and 2 of them are very uniformed in like being strategic thinkers, and you know, they want to think everything out first, and you know, if it's going to be a risk that they want to take, they want it to be systematic and structured. And so for me, I really got to explore like the whole idea of risk, and I got to kind of walk in their shoes a little bit instead of just being reactive and being like the risk taker who's just like, we have to do it. But I also saw them come back at me in different instances in that week and really like say to me, hey, this is what's going on in the business, and what do we do? And I got to do what I do best and give like that off the cuff answer that came from the gut that really was like a risk, and they trusted me. So it was really, really cool to be able to, you know, have that week of values and whys and activities of risk. I really loved the risk. And then week 7 was about creating a top 10 list. And the top 10 list was really about like top 10 list before you walk into something. So I used the top 10 list to, before I got on a call with somebody, I laid out like all of the things that I wanted to see come forth as a result of my efforts and my actions. And so before I got on calls, before I sent out emails, before I did things, I actually laid out like a top 10 list of like, these are the top 10 things I want to see as a result of this experience. And I kind of went back to the whole idea of reframing our goals in the tool section of week 7, because I really feel like tools are really important, and reframing our goals are always a valuable lesson for us, because we can continue to shift and shift in a way that we're moving forward, and our goals aren't staying like 2001 or 1999. They're moving forward with us every minute of every day, like today at 9:17 a.m. on the 10th of August 2012. You know, if I reframe my goals in that day, they really stay current and fresh, and they just feel like they're more attainable and more achievable, because they're not just on a piece of paper sitting in a drawer somewhere. They're walking with me. And that week's activity was all about saying no. And ultimately, I found that saying no, because it's so easy for us to be people pleasers, because, you know, we kind of grow up feeling like we need to please people, or at least I did. Saying no, really, I ended up saying no to myself, and I said no to the things that didn't make sense for me, like whether it was somebody asked me to sing at an event, and I didn't feel like I wanted to do it, and I had to be honest, or somebody said no to me in regards to not wanting to do a second meeting with me, and usually I would have taken that as being okay, but I said no to that, and I said, you know, I don't accept that this time around, because I really have a feeling that that's not the way to go. generally I would take the no. But this week I didn't take the no, and I ended up finding that the no was really me shining a mirror back on me and me saying no to the things in my life that I needed to say no to. And then last week was all about the tools were staying positive and really like working through. Last week was like the last week of retrograde, and it was the end of the negative period in the Kabbalistic religion, and I'm sure in many other faiths there was a lot of other things going on, and it was like a true testament to me and to the things around me to stay positive, because man, I just wanted to lash out at times. I felt like I was just like, ah. And in that, I was, the other tool was about learning to walk. And, when you stay positive and have to, like, refrain yourself from, like, going into, like, those negative, dark places, it's like being a child, and like you're having to scold yourself a little, and you have to learn to walk, and know that it's okay to fall and that you have to get up again. And there were moments when I lost my temper, and I didn't stay 100% positive, and in those moments I had to learn to walk again, and not feel like, oh my god, I'm a failure. And the activity that week was about making a powerful request. So last week in making powerful requests, and I'm still working on it actually, I found that this is just in saying I'm going to make a powerful request, and putting those requests out, I've seen some interesting things come back, but I still feel like the trickle down effect of making those powerful requests hasn't fully come to manifestation yet. So I will definitely, keep you abreast of what's going on. And, so this last 8 weeks was really, it was being the CEO of I Am, which we're always working on being the CEO of I Am. And it was on our road to success. And so that this past 8 weeks was like really follow the yellow brick road on your road to success. And now this week was just kind of a recap week as we move into the next 8 weeks. And I really feel like the next 8 weeks is about change. And I'm picking up, actually, I've chosen the next 8 weeks and the activity cards that we're going to work with. And one of my girlfriends asked me last night about it. And it's the Book of Power. And I really feel like that's the next step in the evolution of being the CEO of I Am. Now that we've really kind of explored the road to success and laid the groundwork for, like, this is how I want to be successful. Now it's about taking all of the earth's power and the power within us, and really working with those together in a way that is harmonious for us on this next leg of our journey. And this week I just the two tools that I want to set out as we move forward are: one, building resilience. Life is filled with ups and downs, and people who are resilient can bounce back from their downs. They overcome adversities, no matter how troubling or traumatizing. Building resistance with 3 lines of thought are really the way I want to look at building resilience. And 1, I have; 2, I am; and 3, I can. And just some examples of that: I have strong relationships, structure, rules at home, role models, and kind of looking at the fact that these are like external supports that are provided. So those are the kind of I haves. And I mean, your I haves may be different for you in building your resilience, but that's, kind of what I see as one of the activities for me this week. In the I am a person who has hope, and a person who has faith, and I'm a person who cares about others. I'm proud of myself, and these are the inner strengths that I'm going to continue to work on and develop for me. So in building resilience, that's the kind of I am aspect of it. And I can communicate, I can solve problems, I can gauge the temperament of others, seek good relationships, and I really feel like I'm at a place in my life where the people that surround me are like super phenomenal, and I'm so grateful that they're in my life. And I'm getting emotional. And all interpersonal and problem solving skills that are required, I can and I have within my tool bag. And the second tool this week is let go of the outcome. And this is a huge lesson for me, and that's why I really wanted to share it, because I I can obsess about something and I can hold on to it. And I need to know when to pick my battles with that. Success is when you are pleased with your efforts, and letting go of the outcome is when we focus on the effort instead of the outcome. um, it allows us to just get back to what it is that we need to do in order for us to not like hold on to something, because life isn't about holding on to things, it's about letting go. And when you let go, you're in surrender and you're able to really be open to what the universe has to share with you, and you don't block those blessings. So those are the tools this week. It's build resistance with the I have, the I am, and the I can, and let go of the outcome, so that you can welcome in whatever it is the universe has to share with you. And this week we're not using Debbie Ford, because we're moving into the Book of Power next week. But I am going to use this, which is the Spiritual Laws of Life book by Harold Klump. And I'm just going to open the book, and I'll open it so that we can all reveal at the same time what the universe wants to share with us as our activity this week. So I think my index finger is where I want to go. And it's the 3 basic principles of life. Oh, no, it's not. Actually, what fell out here? First, let's see what fell out here, because I think that's kind of interesting when things fall forward. Who are you as soul? Okay, so maybe that's the question this week. And let me just look up in here. So yeah, on this this piece of paper that fell out, who are you as soul is what fell out, and I think that's kind of what came forth more so than the actual. So I'm gonna go to soul on. Okay, so soul, the true self, the inner, the most sacred part of each person. Soul exists before birth and life, on after the death of the physical body. As a spark of God, soul can see, know, and perceive all things. It's a creative center of its own world. So this week, just expand your consciousness to really have fun with your soul, and see how soul interacts with the world, because even though we are a physical being on the outside, we're really soul who's just a visitor of this body, and so we're communicating with each other on such a deeper level. So this week when you walk out into the world, I'm just getting the activity is to, one, look people in their eyes. And maybe it's looking someone in their eyes when they're talking to you and saying to them on the inner things like, I love you, or I'm grateful for you, or I accept you. And when you do those things, just kind of see what their reaction is to the experience. And I say that because I actually, I remember there was a time in my life when I was exploring the whole idea of soul. I was just kind of at the beginning of I was at like the youth stage of like the whole experience with soul. I really had just kind of gotten hip to the idea that, oh my God, I actually am not just a physical being. I have a soul, and that my soul is what communicates with people. So the activity this week is to take your soul out into the world and communicate with everyone on a much deeper level than you have been. And what happened to me when I did that before, so I'll be curious to see what happens now, is that there was this woman who every time I went into the grocery store, never looked at anybody at the cash register, ignored everyone, just took their money and put their stuff in a bag and kept her head down. And one day I decided I am just going to go into the grocery store and I'm going to stand in line and I'm going to tell her how I love you. I hope you're having a good day on the inner. And I'm going to get her to look me in the eye, and she's going to respond to me. And don't you know, standing in that line, I was looking at her the whole time she was checking everybody else out. And just on the inner, from my third eye, I just started saying, hi, I love you. I'm really grateful for you. I hope you're having a good day. And when I walked up to the counter, she looked up at me and she said hello. for the first time in like 2 years, she said hello to me. And I don't know, today's just an emotional day. But she acknowledged, soul acknowledged the interaction that was happening between us. So when you go out into the world this week, your activity is to take soul out into the world and communicate with others and just have an experience of a lifetime with it, because it's the more we can open up to that, the more we are our true self. Um, this sheds and this goes away, and all the people around us are people that, as soul, we've known for a very long time, and that we interact with, and we have many life experiences with. So, in taking soul out into the world, I'm sure there's a lot of interesting things that we're going to learn about ourselves and about those around us and life that we're living and what we share. So, who are you as soul? And I put Claudine, and that was somebody that I was working with at the time, and Bill and Howell and Diane. Whoever you are out there watching this time around, have a great time with the experience of exploring your soul. I'm going to put it up online, the activities, and this week we kind of like on week 9, which is like the completion. I didn't really talk about like the spiritual aspect of things, although everything is spiritual. And this week I really felt like it was time to really just bring the spiritual aspect into this 9th week to really close out this session. So what are we doing this week? We're building resilience with our tools, the I have, I am, and I can, and we're letting go of the outcome of things, and we're doing that by going out into the world and asking ourselves to share our soul and find out who our soul really is as we communicate with each other, as I'm communicating with you, as you communicate with others. So with that being said, this is week 9 of This Week in Phenomenal-ness, wrapping up. And if you just want to close your eyes and open your heart and place your attention on love, and use your tis or till or your third eye to just see what comes up for you in that moment. And just really, let's get centered in the energy of what we're walking into as we rest over the weekend, rejuvenate, and have this next phenomenal week. May the blessings be. In infinite gratitude and love, may you have a phenomenal experience over this next week. And don't forget to share on the Facebook wall if you have an experience you want to share. I would love to be able to have a conversation with you about it if you're ready to share it online. This whole experience is about being a vehicle, and we all are. So sharing our experiences with each other and the world around us is really important. And have fun. Take care. May the blessings be. Bye.